Formula 1 returns to Germany for round 12 of the 2019 season here at the Hockenheim Ring. Well, this event could be the last German Grand Prix for some time, as the event is currently not on the 2020 schedule and any talk will need to be finalised before the final race weekend in Brazil. Qualifying is also expected to be taking place in wet conditions, and with rain in first practice, many teams are out, focusing mostly on their one-lap pace for qualifying. However, since it is in the wet, many of the questions about aero balance and just general car setup have to wait later in the session, so even in the dry, teams will still be working on their qualifying and race setups. Renault come to this race looking to rescore their first points of the season, having to start again from scratch after being disqualified on the first half of the season, with Verne and Hulkenberg both looked comfortable in the car and were looking for a top 10 finish in the race. Mercedes understandably were receiving their fair share of media attention, with this being their home Grand Prix for Mercedes, and also Mercedes funding a lot of this event to take place. However, both Kvyat and Russell look to be somewhat off the pace in the three practice sessions. They'll need to find a miracle if they're to compete in the race. Williams also receiving their good share of attention with their BMW engines, so the German giants look to put one over on their German rivals and take a minimum of a podium, but ideally the race win for Mick Schumacher, their home German driver. Red Bull though could also be the outside shot once again. The upgrades they tested in the week off break must be working well, with Verstappen in the top 3 in all 3 of the practice sessions, including, more crucially, the one in the wet. Questura though was looking to struggle to get the grids with his Alfa Romeo car, having a bit of a slide there through turn 1 and having a few other near misses throughout the first session, and things wouldn't improve too much for the Brits later in FP2 either. McLaren also look to continue their good form, especially now with Renault out of the running. They can focus purely now on challenging Alfa Romeo for best of the rest P6 in the championship, where they currently are will still be a massive step up from where they were this time last season. Things were going for back-to-back for Josh Joe in FP2, as he would spin out into the stadium section, the Mercedes stadium stand, and would get quite a few pictures taken of him facing the wrong way, and that wouldn't do anything to improve the 2016 champions' mood coming into the qualifying. Landon Alfa Romeo even resorted to testing out the toe in FP3, feeling that either car might need it to get through out of Q1, maybe even into Q3, if they were lucky, since the session would take place in the wet conditions. Stroll though would struggle most with the Haas to get to grips with the circuit, lining up in last place, and a poor lap from Lando Norris sees him on the back row, only starting in P19. Equally struggling is Kamui Kobayashi, starts from 18th place in the Toyota, and Pierre Gasly starting from P17 in the Toro Rosso. Colin Herder just missed out on a place in Q2, lining up in 16th, with Giovinazzi getting through into the second qualifying session, getting no higher than 15th. Absolute shocker as well from Charles Leclerc, sees the Monegasque driver knocked out in Q2, starting 14th, alongside Nico Kari in the lead of the Toro Rossos. Hulk felt he could have been in Q3, but he lines up in P12 and also has a free choice of tyre, though as everyone since qualifying was in the wet, and Kubica was very disappointed to be starting 11th. Track was drying up for Q3, however Kubica got his timing wrong with Mercedes and went out too early to get his final run and lands up in 10th, joining Verne with a promising qualifying in 9th. George Russell could only manage 8th place, and more importantly starts as the lead Mercedes, alongside Ria Haryanto in the lead of the McLarens from 7th. An all-German Row 3, with 5-time champion Sebastian Vettel starting from P6, and 2019 championship hopeful Mick Schumacher starting P5. Josh Giro will put a lap in at the death of the session to climb all the way up into P4 in the Alfa Romeo. He starts alongside side driver Alex Albon in the Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton was beaten to pole by a staggering 0.3 of a second in the Toyota, leaving honours for pole to go to Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. Hey guys, Renault here. Welcome back to the UniONE career, this time for round 12 here at the German Grand Prix. Thankfully though, in the dry now, because this car is pretty horrific, the Alfa Romeo. In the way, it was definitely a real struggle to get through into Q3. Honestly, I was helped by all the big names, Kubica, Leclerc and that dropping out earlier on. Lance Stroll dropped out straight away and dropped like a stone, honestly, in 20th place, so yeah, the Canadian really having a difficult season there in the car. Also, Lando Norris there in only in 90th place, so the two of them definitely not getting to grips with the wet conditions. Pierre Gasly starting a few places further up as well, so it's better than where he's starting at Britain, so honestly, you can only be up from here for him. And onto the formation lap. Everyone looks to be getting away so far. though, you have to wait for the rest of the cars to come through into the mid-pack. Yeah, everyone's getting away there. Well, it's pretty difficult to stall these cars, and everyone's managed to get away straight in that place, so everyone will take their place on the grid. The Max Verstappen, though, a brilliant pole position there from the Dutchman, especially in the changing conditions in what was qualifying 3. Even though Verstappen was the last man over the line, he still set pole, which is what matters. And we've got ourselves here in P4, which, I mean, I'd like to be here come race end, maybe even on the podium, but given how many of the faster cars are behind me, I hide that's where you're going to be. Since, well, it's only the bottom half of the grid starting on the hardest couple of sides anyway. And Verne here in P9. I mean, Renault is targeting points, well, they need points because they're in last place at the minute, which is not going to do the bosses any, not going to make them very happy since they're the ones pumping all the money in for this. Back onto us now. P4. Okay, surrounded by a lot of faster cars, and cars which we really shouldn't be racing against anyway, but it's where we find ourselves. And waiting for the rest of the cars to line up then behind us. Especially we're a lot further than normal, so yeah, we've got a bit more of a weight than what we normally have. Now then, coming to the 5 red light to the start of the German Grand Prix. I sound away, you guys. Very, very short hold that was. Everyone's managed to get away cleanly. Then we got the Ferrari there, so I'll now through turn 1, good turn squeeze on it. Just we do to get on the curbing on the outside line. So he actually gives them a really poor run. They're going to come under pressure now then from the Renault. Then obviously goes for a dive up the inside line of the Ferrari. Of Sebastian Vettel, these two, of course, former teammates in 2017, so there's going to be no love lost here between these two. You think the Ferrari's a faster car overall, but the Renault might be faster in straight line if he's running lower drag, which is probably what they're doing here to try and get some points on the board, or back on the board anyway. Vettel did manage to cover off the 2017 Drivers' Champion. Actually goes for a dive up the inside line there of one of the Williams as well, so turns a defensive move into an offensive one. Looking at the fence, we've got Mick Schumacher moving himself up now into P2 ahead there, both of the Red Bulls. So Verstappen shot back from the start. Then we go for a dive up the inside line of Alex Albon as well. Catch the tie driver napping. Of course, shows a difference in experience. Albon in his 12th Grand Prix. I don't know what I'm in, but I'm the 2016 champion. So, but to be fair to Albon, just managed to hold us off because the Red Bull car is a lot better still than this Alfa Romeo car. Let's go down then through the this hairpin cycle, which is actually a really nice corner with the way it cambers in as well. So you can carry more speed through there. You just got to avoid the curve though, because that'll spin you around immediately. Now through here is where you lose most time. Through the third sector, this is where you need downforce, and this Alfa Romeo doesn't have a lot of that. At least Hamilton, unsurprisingly, puts it the first lap of the race because I believe it's the first lap. You'd think was at the fastest lap. I just ran out wide completely. Just trying to get to grips with this car through tunnel because the car has not done me too well so far in practice, and we give Vettel for a dive there up the inside line. And let the German go because I'm not fighting a Ferrari. I'm not going to waste time fighting against him. I mean, I'd like to. Because, oh no, we actually now have the slow stream. Nobody else, just pure engine mode. And our car being actually lower drag than the Ferrari. Bit of wheel banging there with the 5-time champion. Going up the inside line, back against him now into the corner as well, into the hairpin. Going for the inside line of Sebastian Vettel. I mean, I was going to let him go, but if he's going to be that slow in a straight line, and actually no, we managed to squeeze out so good that Robbie Kubica, or former teammate, managed to get through. I mean, although we're not teammates anymore, I definitely don't mind giving Kubica a helping hand to get to the order, especially since in the Williams, one of the teams going for the constructors fine, because the BMW will be happy with that as well. That's another one of their cars up another position as well. Now for 5.5 seconds up. That just shows how slow you can find out. We're up by here by 5.5 seconds. I'm also catching back up then to this wobbling cars in the front of Verstappen, right up behind the back there, Mick Schumacher, and Hamilton. You look at me now, he's just disappearing already. He's only done 2 laps, but we're going on to the third one now for him, and he's just completely gone. He's bolted at the start. But why all the top 10 still went on the soft tyres to start with to try and pull out of the gap. And, well, I was up here with them. I pretty much went around whatever else because I don't want to lose time fighting against the cars that I am against since we had Verne here and Harry Anzo in the top 10 also. Couldn't just go on the medium tyres like everyone else outside the top 10 chose to. So even though the qualifying was in the wet, it's similar to like it was in the dry with the top 10 being forced to start on their normal set of tyres. And then you've got Verstappen here all over the back still of Mick Schumacher coming into the corner. I don't think he's close enough there to make a move. No, he's not. Some great shine and speed in that BMW engine. And he's still enough to overpower the Honda, at least in race conditions. But Verstappen manages some wide laps in qualifying to take the past few pole positions. And again, we're all over the back still of Alex Albon. I'm going to go for a dive this time. I think about it, but Albon there, that's good. He defends well. So he's learning now. This is still his learning period. I mean, you had to get used to a car, you had to get used to the Toro Rosso, We didn't even think it was going to be in Formula 1 for the start of the season, and then 11 races into getting used to that car, you have to get used now to a different car as well, and whilst challenging up here, and whilst also being teammates to Max Verstappen. So there's quite a lot on the plate for Albon to do, but being right behind him it's a good start to his Red Bull career in what is only his second race with a Red Bull. Although something that's not going well is the Mercs up a bit further down than where they would like, and already dropping off the pace. So the Mercs are in for too good of a home Grand Prix, at least not at the minute anyway. But everything out front though, it's getting a little bit spread out now. We've got obviously Hamilton off into the distance, and we've got this pack of Schumi, Verstappen, Albon, then ourselves, and then a little bit of the gap back to Vettel, Kubica, and the Mercs and that. And once again Verstappen with the DRS there wide open on the back of that Red Bull car. And once again he's not even gaining on the back of that Williams. There's so much around speed. Like, I mean, I imagine Schumi's probably running a low drag setup as well, which is why he's slower through the third sector, but he can't really overtake through the third section unless you're already going side by side into it, that is. And then out of the corner, we're still actually gaining a lot there on Albon, so it looks like we've got some really good traction off of the corner for once, which is something I don't really get to say too often in this Alpha car. Side by side with Alex Albon, going to try and make the same move we did previously on the tyre driver side by side with him, going to force him out one that time and not letting him keep it through then. So getting a bit forceful there with the rookie, but these are the kind of things he's got to learn, but it's not over there. And he's on to the next lap. He's going back to us now once again then with the DRS. Like he's just going to power to past us. I can't see this in his camera shot, so he's definitely passing now and then goes defensive to the inside line. Moves back straight and just squeezes this out, because if we're not at least halfway alongside, we're technically not inside of some space, although I like to think we never really raced Albon yet, so this is me learning also how his racing style is. Now can we go for the move this time again? He tries to defend us, but we've got some momentum. There's something out of that hairpin, something about our setup. It's actually working really well, so definitely turned it around. Literally from practice 2 where I was facing the wrong way. Albon gets it back and we go for a switch by line though on the tyre driver. Can try and get it back now up the inside line. Once again out into the stadium sector side by side. Imagine the crowd are going to be loving this. But he managed to just squeeze it through there past Albon. I'm sure the crowd will love it more if it was the two Macs. And also if they were fighting actually at the front and not in 8th, 9th, wherever they currently are. Now as we come down and into the two penultimate corners, they're going for a dive in for a very early pit stop now. When the team have called me in early, they must have seen their gap or seen something, because flying the soft tire is going to be a 2-stop race for us. Don't quite know about the ones that's died on the soft. They might be doing this tobacco strategy, or they could go on to a set of the hard tyres later on. So they're coming in now for a set of mediums. It's going to be 2 sets of mediums for us. Getting the rest of these tyres, we're getting about 4 or 5 laps of the race. So yeah, soft tyres don't really do too much for us, but it means we can avoid the hard tyres, which were pretty disgusting, quite honestly. It's all the issues that I was having with them. That wasn't even just on the car, that was just it being horrendous on the hard tyres as well. A few laps further on, we've got Mick Schumacher now coming into the pit lane. And he's got Verstappen now in front of him, so at some point we've missed the Dutchman somehow, somewhere managed to overtake Mick Schumacher. But Schumi there in the end pit box. So Williams have got a good pit box. It's basically being the Constructors' Champions, they get first pick of whichever box they want. I mean, it was a good stuff from the Williams crew, but not quite enough to get back out in front of Verstappen. And he's going to come out there behind one of the Hasses. Actually, no, side by side there was actually another car as well, so he's going to drop behind 2 cars. And then side by side there, up the inside line there of that Toyota car actually. So is that Hamilton? And actually no, it's Kamui Kobayashi who started way down the order as well. So Kamui is not really having a fun time of things. I mean, that car is going to be monstrously fast in a straight line for how it normally is anyway. And he's closing massively on the back there of Mick Schumacher, because now they're both on the same combined tyre, so you think it's a pretty even fight by now between those two. And up in front of them, you've got the other cars which haven't stayed out yet, so the teammates of the other drivers which couldn't pit on the last lap. And we've actually got Kubica, who's managed to overtake Alex Albon as well, so of course 5-6 laps into the race. The medium tyres of Kubica will be faring better than the softs on Alex Albon's Red Bull. And you've got the Merc here then of George Russell right behind the back of his fellow rookie and fellow F2 graduate from last season. Although Russell won the title, but they both found themselves in race-winning cars at least, so it's going to be a very fair fight between these two. I mean, we saw it back at the last race of Britain, those two going at it for about half the race, with Russell coming out on top then, so imagine Alex Albon is going to want to return the favour and reverse the tables this time round. Instead of medium size for the tyre driver, and he comes out once again ahead of the Mercedes. I think the Merc just got a slightly better pit stop, but once again, as it was with Verstappen and Schumi, the Red Bull has the track position, although Kvyat's going to come steaming past the outside of both of them, and so jump them both, or at least jump Albon. I don't know, he's probably ahead of Russell anyway. And in front of that, here we are now behind the back then of one of the Toro Rossos. Getting in the DRS to see the rear wing there open. Oh, this is a good DRS. We've got so much good speed on that Honda compared to the Honda engine. Try and get around the outside line here of the tunnel, so into the braking zone. Going to go a long way around here. Going to get squeezed into the corner there. I think that's Gasly, but we get the racing line on the corner exit, so we get the traction, so we get where the more rubber is. They're going to put in front there of the Toro, and unlike when he crashed last year with no stopping, manages to get around that corner, and he goes very defensive immediately there from the Ferrari then behind him. And then on to lap 9, we're currently in P13, so we're almost back into the points places already, and everyone who hasn't stopped yet in front of us, well, we get past him, then we're legitimately back into the points, because everyone's got to make one more stop. But that Toyota is just so quick in a straight line. And actually coming out our teammate Giovinazzi, who's trying to hold it there to the inside line, going to try and force Camille to the outside line, and he parks it there on the apex. And he actually gets some good traction out from the corner, actually holds up Camille Kobayashi, and then we can try and make a move on the Japanese channel, which we do. We pull in front of him now. We're now into Peter, some brilliant teamwork there. Nice one, Giovinazzi. I'm sure that probably wasn't intentional, but just squeezing out. I mean, they may have been told that I was behind him, but squeezing out like that. And we go now into P12, so we're legitimately back into the points places, although as things currently stand as well, Gio is in front of us legitimately for track position, because he's probably going to go into a set of the hard tyres later on. So yeah, we need to get past him if we actually beat him, but then again we're making another stop from medium, so we've got the advantages anyway, and plus we've made up almost a pit stop worth of time on him already, which just shows how much quicker it was to start on the soft tyres and then get a effective undercut on everyone else now to build back the gap. We're going down then into turn 1. I'm not going to make a move through there because I'm not confident enough through that corner as it is to at least definitely not try and go side by side with someone. Now then into the next braking zone, still not going to try anything there because we get the DRS now down in the next straight. Honestly, that's, yeah, the DRS on the next straight, that's the one I want. And the ERS though also open to high, trying to use all the speed that this Ferrari engine has to give us if it actually works. Getting in the DRS on the back of him, he's taking it all the straight because Gio, of course, is going to be as fast as we are in a straight line. Going now into the corner, going to outbrake our team, going to try and go the long way here around the outside line. I'm going to keep side by side. I think when Gio moved to the inside line, that was more of a let me pass because he did not put up any fight. I left him the space of the inside line, but that's because he's my teammate. So now into P11, behind Colton Herta in the Haas. He's having a pretty good race actually. I mean, the Haas, they're usually pretty good in the opening stint of the race, but then they just sort of drop back after that and then end up being somewhere near the back come the end of the race, as how things normally go anyway. We're getting here though on the back of the American, who's got one of the Williams cars up in front of him, and then I think the other has have launched Stroll. So Stroll, being in the BMW Junior team, is going to want to get out of the way of Mick Schumacher pretty quickly, especially since it's the home Grand Prix as well for the German. We've got DRS there on the back of Colton Herta. They're gaining on him though into turn 1, but down this little straight here, there's absolutely nothing he can do. Although we get a brilliant line though. So we've got DRS still once again on the back of the American, who pulls through the inside line. Going defensive, doing exactly what Stroll did, so synchronised defending there from the two white cars. I don't even have any defence yet. He's also going to have DRS, but we're going to have the DRS and the toe as well. We get a great run as well with our fresher tyres, going to give us more traction. And we're going to try and make the move there on the American, which we do. We're going to put in front of Colton Herta. We're going now there into the run into the hairpin, and we've got Mick Schumacher up the inside line then of Lawrence Stroll. Stroll's going to try and hold it around the outside line, try and put up some resistance if he can to the Williams. So it's going to be side by side on corner exit, and Schumi's easily done it. That was way too easy. Yeah, so Stroll definitely backed out of that one by the looks of it. In which is why when you're in a junior team car, unless you're fighting for the win, of course, so then it'd be kind of understandable. But since in the position that he is, we're already effectively a pit stop ahead of all these guys because we've caught them up anyway. So that's what's backing up now into P10. If you take out the cars that haven't stopped yet, all these ones already started on the medium tyres, I think we're actually somewhere around P4, P5. We're near enough around where we started, so our pace in the first third of the race has actually been really good, which is something I don't get to see too often in this Alfa Romeo. So maybe the upgrades that we brought, the chassis work that we did over the week breaks, definitely working out for us. So we're all over the back here of our job. There's nothing really that we can do to try and pass him through there. And we've got the DRS once again on the Canadian. We're going to go defensive once again. Stroll, we already know, is so good at his defending. Probably because that's what he ends up doing more often than not in the Haas, because it's not really a car you can attack with. It's more of I'm in this position in qualifying, let's just try and keep it kind of car. And then with the DRS, actually got Colin Head looking very anxious back of us as well. So imagine he's turned up the BMW engine, Stroll's going to get squeezed to see this line, almost up to the grass, so Stroll getting a bit dangerous there with us now. There we go 3 wide now. Stroll in the middle, her on the outside line, big contact, going to force him out wide, giving him a bit of a taste of his own medicine. Then I guess that means he gets caught up there with his teammate Colin Herta, who then gets squeezed out a little bit. And he gets passed then by the Red Bull of Alex Albon, who I think will be counting his lucky stars. They didn't get caught up in that collision between the two Haas cars. But now it's falling away a little bit. So I'll be surprised if they haven't got. I think I might have some damage actually from that. He's fell away way too quickly. But now Albon, look there, he's sticking to the back of that Haas like glue. Once again, Stroll going defensive. I think every time we see Stroll, he's just defending from someone because that Haas is such a poor car. I just can't do anything else. We've seen he's took 2 podiums in previous Haas cars when they could actually compete. So we know he's definitely got the skill. He just hasn't got the car underneath him. But now he's got a car alongside him with Alex Albon into turn 1, can try and force out the Canadian, which he does. I think Stroll just backed out of that more than anything really. He's just going to lose too much time anyway, and then he has to go defensive once again. Stroll the defender. That just has to be, that could have to be his nickname at this point. We've seen him just defending every single time the camera's on him. He's defending from someone. And now he has to do. Can he try and even come back at? No, he can't even try and come back at Alex Albon. Albon's way up the road. And he got hurt now, coming under pressure from the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. Actually, no, is he coming back? Stroll, where did he get that speed from? Into the corner. So the BMW engine coming into clutch there. And we've got Vettel trying to get around the outside line of Colin Herta. Then turns into the racing line on the corner exit. And it looks like he's got to get that move done. Fairly easy move there for the 5-10 champion, of course, also at his home Grand Prix. So he's going to want to try and beat the lead German. And with Mick Schumacher being a bit further up the road, he's got a bit of work to do yet. Now, currently, it's Robbie Kubica leading the Grand Prix because he hasn't stopped yet, along with Charles Leclerc. So these two find themselves really rather out of sync as things stand. Although they are legitimately the lead 2 cars as things stand. Then we got the Toyota of Lewis Hamilton on the hard tyres. Is Hamilton trying a 1-stop? Surely, because the hard tyres are horrific. Surely he must be trying some kind of 1-stop. And he's got Verstappen on medium, so doing the same thing as we are. So Hamilton's actually about 25 seconds up the road. If he's not making another stop, he's going to be so slow on those medium tyres now and at the end of the race as well. So I think the 2-stop surely must be quicker. Now Verstappen pulls through the inside line of the Toyota coming into turn 1. And he can make the move stick as Hamilton backs out of the move. So they've definitely got some kind of game plan. We saw how much of a gap Hamilton had before, and now Verstappen's taken the effective lead of the race. Then we have Hulk in the Renault. Then we have one of the Tarossos and one of the Williams. Then of Mick Schumacher and Nico Kari that is doing battle. Kari's going to get squeezed out there by the Williams, but he has to leave his space though. He keeps his nose to the inside line. Schumacher, of course, thinking about the championship. And then actually Kari had the DRS because of course he was the car behind. Actually pulling himself back in front of Mick Schumacher. Kari, you've got some balls doing that to Mick Schumacher, pulling one over the Michael's son into the hairpin, and Schumacher's got no answer to the Toro Rosso. I mean, Kari, we know he's intending on moving up to the Red Bull team for next season or finding employment elsewhere on the grid. If you pull off moves like that, that's definitely worthy of a top team drive. Then we've got one of the McLarens, and then we have ourselves in the Alpha, and then we have the other Red Bull then of Alex Albon behind us. Now he's pulled a bit of a gap then on Danny Kvyat, who was actually in front of him earlier on, so he's overtook the Red Bull somewhere. Then we've got the 2 Haas cars still going at it line and stone. We've still got Stroll here then in front of his teammate Colin Herta. With George Russell behind then our teammate Giovinazzi. We've got one of those Tarossos up for company, and we've got Russell looking very interested behind the back of the 2 Haas cars. And we've got the McLaren of Lando Norris way down the order. Actually, no, that's Harry Amso, because he started in the top 10, so he used to stop earlier on. Then we have Kamui Kobayashi, who's having an absolute mare of a time. And then we have... Has he stopped yet? Johnny Vez on another set of super soft tyres, so... has he stopped yet? Yeah, the soft tyres, yeah, so some very interesting strategies going on from Toyota and from Renault. Talking of Renault, the other Renault's just come out behind him, so... Look, they're on a set of hards, so it definitely looks like all the ones that started outside the top 10 are just going for a 1-stop. On to lap 16, we've got Lando Norris now then as the car right in front of us, and we're getting on him now then in the DRS down this straight. And then getting on the McLaren coming down into the hairpin. We're not going to be close enough this time around to make a move on our fellow Brit. Into the hairpin, still nothing to do. We're currently up into P6, so when Norris pits, that'll be P5. So we have only lost 1 place from where we are. Also, if everyone else hasn't stopped, so if Kubica and Leclerc are still out, they're actually in P3. So if you take out the car that haven't stopped yet, we've actually had a really good race because we'd be up in an actual podium position, which in the Alfa Romeo isn't really somewhere we should be. I mean, Singapore was a bit of an anomaly, just with how good our pace was. And then into this the bank corner, they're getting a little bit on the curbing. Definitely don't want to do that too often because the curb, especially when your tyres are worn, will definitely just spin you. I mean, with the grip of the tyres, you can get away with the start ways, but now then the McLaren pulls into the pit lane, so I guess this is the time then for Norris to come in for his probably one only start. I mean, he's definitely not going to get a set of softs to the end, so yeah, it's definitely going to be a set of the hard tyres emerging for the McLaren driver. And he comes then into his pit box, and indeed it is a set of hard tyres for Lando Norris. Is going to rejoin somewhere down the order, but then again, he's going to be getting an effective undercut on all of us, the top 10 starters, who have to pit again, because although he's on slower tyres, they're going to be fresher than what ours were, and probably faster as well. I mean, I would expect them to be faster, honestly. And he's got one of the Tauruses there in front of him. But now then, on to lap 20, so a few laps further on from when we saw Lando Norris, and now they're going to be pitting now at the end of this lap. So, yeah, so Norris can take his tyres 16 laps, we're taking them 14. So yeah, we're definitely no tyre wear concerns for us at least anyway, with Schumi in P4, so we're actually back where we started in P4, so actually, I don't know how we're doing. We've had some really good pace in this race. I mean, if it's just replace Schumacher with Albon, and we're all coming into the pits now anyway, talking about all of us. It's going to be another set of medium size for us. And honestly, I've always had some pretty good pace around this circuit, especially back in 2016, where we were pretty much last by the end of the first lap after you got took out, and we came back to finish third, and within a second of the win. So. Something about the Hockenheim ring, well, especially in this layout, because I never got to race it on the previous one, which honestly I think I would have preferred to race on the previous one, being a nice power track, and power tracks are something that I like, because my cars are usually always fast in a straight line. We're out then in front of this McLaren and Taurusso battle here, and we've got Kari then in the Taurusso, and he's got one of the McLarens there bearing down on the back of him, of Lando Norris. So Norris, even with his undercut, has come out behind us, so just showing the pace difference still between our car and the McLaren, or just the pace difference between the medium and the hard tyres, maybe a bit of both. Because I still like to think that the Alpha's a better car, the McLaren might be the more consistent in terms of race pace, although we seem to drag this car further up the order than where it really should be, quite honestly. I mean, makes an easy move there on Kari. So now then, lap 21, and we're getting now then on Nico Hulkenberg in the running in front of us on a set there of hard tyres, so yeah, this is where, well, Hulkenberg used his effective undercut there to a good effect. We're currently in P9, so we've got a few other things yet to make. I don't know if anyone else has actually got to make their final pit stops yet. I'm going to come down then around the final corner, and we're going to give it since we do just about manage to then have the DRS then on the back of the Renault car in front of us, and Renault once again rebuilding their points, and P6. That'll probably be the highest result all season from well, technically it will be, yeah, because it's been excluded from everything else, but of the races from where they finished before as well, P6 would definitely not, they definitely wouldn't turn their nose up without a Renault. And Kenny in the DRS though on the back of Nico Hulkenberg. Still not really gaining too much on him, so I imagine that Renault's bringing some pretty low drag into the hairpin there. Still nothing we can do, we're definitely close up on the braking, so we're definitely running more downforce down that Renault. So a car with actual less downforce than the Alfa Romeo. I didn't think that was actually possible, but I imagine that's what Renault are doing just to try and do something, because the Renault engine's not the greatest. I mean, of the engines that are now on the grid, it is probably the worst thing, the Honda engine. Safe to say it's probably better than the Renault engine now, especially with how it's working in the back of Verstappen Rebel. But again, we've put Verstappen probably in the Haas, he might even be on the podium with how good he is. But talking Verstappen now, so the first half of the race, 118 dead, and that is a whole 1.6 seconds faster than us. Verstappen is in the absolute other league from everyone else. I mean myself. I mean, on the same compound of tyres, and he's lapping 2 seconds quicker than me. The pace of the Rebel of unlocked from the Honda, the absolute pace of that car is absolutely unreal. I mean, you think if they had that pace to start with earlier on, like at the start of the season, Verstappen would just be romping away with this championship. I mean, there's still, what, half the season just under yet to go, so there's still plenty of time yet, but now we're getting there on the back off Nico, but the Renault gets defensive there into the hairpin, trying to go around the outside line of the Renault. Try and switch back to switch on there. Actually, no, he's a sticky head around the outside line. He's on the corner, so Hulkenberg getting a bit aggressive there with us, so definitely getting a bit personal, of course, at his home Grand Prix, and I think you know, I'm pretty sure assuming different, so he's not the lead German either. So imagine if that was the state, then yeah, but we've got Vettel as the car now behind us, so the more time Hulk loses fighting with us, the quicker Vettel in a faster car is going to be catching him up. And then into the banked hairpin. I said the corner of the track once again, still right up behind the back here of this Renault car, still nothing we can do through the start sector, we're getting a little bit of rag as well, but you just feel we can go so much quicker than this Renault car. I mean, we're definitely not 2 seconds slower than Max Verstappen. I mean, the car might be, but we're not. You know, once again, just through there, there's nothing we can do to try and get past the Renault, so looks like Stroll, Hulk's just being a bit of a immovable object, because he's effectively just a mobile chicane at this point. And we're going to have DRS on him once again, and we're the closest we've ever been, so now we should be able to be moving. We've got the DRS there wide open on the back of us, and I'm going to pull side by side with him. I can't see Hulk, that probably means we've cleared him, and indeed we have, into the corner, and Hulk's not even going to try and fight back, because he hasn't really got anything to fight back with, although we've got to fight behind of Alex Albon trying to make a move up the inside line then of Lando Norris, I think that is, so the two fellow F2 graduates going at it once again. And then you've got Daniel Kvyat in the Merc right behind the back of them as well, so we've got McLaren going to be having the Mercedes AMG engines in 2021, so that fight could have been pretty crucial. A little bit further on, still looking then at the Mercedes. I mean, they've both overtaken the McLaren along with another car which you can't quite see which one that is, but they've all overtaken the Lando Norris, so Norris not having the best time in the world. And then Russell with the DRS though on the back of his teammates, he's going to try and make a move on the number one driver in the team. He's going to try and give that defensively to the inside line. Russell's going to have to go the long way around here into the hairpin. Actually pulls alongside, actually was a little bit in front, I think. When he's side by side, they're still on corner exit, and you think of the racing line, you should be able to make this move stick there on Danny Kvyat. Looking at the Kvyat there on the inside line. Russell can try and still stick it around the outside line. You see the braking zone still side by side between the two of them. And Kvyat not giving this up there. They'll find these two. I mean, this is what the Mercedes want to see, the two cars going hammer and tongue at it. Probably, of course they'd prefer to be battling for the 1-2 now into the Mercedes section now, the Mercedes grandstand. They're going to be absolutely loving this, seeing their two cars going at it now. Their two drivers as well, two of the top drivers in Formula 1. Currently going at it wheel to wheel still. And we've got to keep out there up the inside line, and Russell there finally backs out. I think he just saw better there, or either that or he got told to just back off. Because them fighting is allowing Nico Hulkenberg in the Renault to come back into things as well. I mean, once again, Russell all over the back still of Danny Kvyat. I mean, Russell just so wants to make that move. I mean, he's definitely got a point to prove after Austria, when that could have been and should have been his first victory in Formula 1. I mean, he was dominating that race until a loose wheel it was. His own pit crew let him down there, and the wheel came off and he had to retire. And then Russell once again then with the DRS on the back of Danny Kvyat. So he's going to be getting on the back of the Russian coming into the hairpin. He's going to try and make a move this time. No, he's not. Back a little bit. Kvyat goes a little bit defensive just to cover himself, but I think Russell's definitely got the message now to back off and stick it behind. But now then, a bit further on, looking to the battle up front. So Hausen is staying out on those hard tyres, so leading the Grand Prix. We've got Verstappen all over the back of him, Hausen having to go defensive. But it's only going to be a matter of time. I mean, as soon as you get to the back straight, Verstappen is just going to be straight past him. I mean, it's a valiant attempt from Hamilton and Toyota. It's probably going to get him second place, which is where he started anyway. So nothing lost, nothing gained from trying a very unique strategy, because there's no one else doing it. You can't even see the cars behind, so now up to the inside line here. Verstappen makes the move stick, does he? Hamilton, yeah, doesn't fight it. I mean, he probably knew that Verstappen wasn't his fight for today. Verstappen's not anyone's fight for today. He is so far in front in terms of pace. Everyone else, I mean, we saw 2 seconds quicker than us, so he's only got to be at least a second quicker than everyone else. Well, Hamilton though, another DRS to come back, and that Toyota is fast in a straight line, but it's not going to be fast enough. Verstappen's got way too much of a gap. Oh wait, no, actually no, Verstappen's going slow. No way, there's smoke pouring out the back of Verstappen's car. Surely no way, that's the end of Verstappen's Grand Prix.
Oh no, issue with the engine. Yeah, here we go again.
And just as it looked to be coming good for Honda as well, it just seems I think Verstappen may have just been overdoing it a little bit as well. We're seeing him lapping 2 seconds quicker than what we've been, so... Yeah, although Verstappen now in 18.1, so... He's only a tenth quicker than what we were. We've been thrashing that car. He was so wanted that win. And it seems it was just too much for the Honda engine to say. I mean, they've brought upgrades, but we know the upgrades for now are more on performance and reliability, with the season being a building season. So, I mean, of course they're going to hate losing a win and having an engine blow up, but it's not really well. It seems that the car does have brilliant pace. Onto the back of now, it's lap 33. Getting out on the back of Charles Leclerc, who's quite one about his business now, and we're darting all over the back here of the Monegasque driver. So currently we're in a Ferrari sandwich because Vettel's the car behind us. I mean, we've got a lap and a bit left to go, and if you go past Leclerc, we're back up into P4. We'll be back where we started the race, which is I still can't believe I'm saying that. We've had some blindingly good pace. I mean, not as good as Singapore, but I don't think it's been not that far off, because we've been legitimately up here all race. I mean, we had to fight our way back through the mid-pack as well early on in the race, and we actually do that pretty good. And then we're all over the back here. Oh, Charles Leclerc, of course, both of us with Ferrari engines, so we're both going to have the same amount of power, although I imagine Ferrari probably keeps something back from us for some engine mapping, some kind of power advantage that they can get out of their own engine, since they're the ones that built it. You think they know it better than what we do. We just get them and have to do the best job that we can. Now then, onto the final lap now of the Grand Prix. Into turn 1, not going to make a move here on Charles Leclerc, and wasn't even close to the final, even if I wanted to try and do one. And the DRS again. Leclerc goes defensive to the inside, that's good. That's going to slow him down. It's going to compromise his corner here. And we're going to try and go now around the outside line here. Charles Leclerc going to try and stick it there around the outside line, but run out of road, run into the grass. That's killing the momentum, surely. Although we've got the DRS though, and we're also running up into high ERS as well. Not got much fuel mix to play with. Look at the speed we're getting. There's so much good speed. We try to go around the outside line. With Charles Leclerc into the corner, going to go break now, but Leclerc going to dive it there back on the inside line. We're going to have to go wide here, try and keep it on the track. They don't do what they did in 2012. And we just power right around the outside line. Our Charles Leclerc, our younger tyres and grippier tyres, paying dividends right there. We're back up now into P4. We're back up to where we started the Grand Prix. Robert Kubica is in front of us in P3 from 11th place on the grid. Great job there from the Polish man. No, we just need to keep it ahead there of Charles Leclerc. But Lewis Hamilton, he's been gifted this win, but you've got to finish the race if you want to get the win. And Lewis Hamilton wins the German Grand Prix.
Okay, Lewis, that was absolutely fantastic. Awesome drive. That was absolutely fantastic. We were owed that one. Absolutely awesome. Well done.
Oh, that was amazing, guys. Woo-hoo! That was wicked. Thank you so much. Fantastic pit stop. Great job all weekend. We definitely deserved that one, guys. We definitely did. Thank you.
Seems like you pretty enjoyed that one. I mean, well, why wouldn't he? I mean, that was the... I mean, apart from Verstappen, Hamilton was basically untouched in this race as well. And he takes the race with a race win in the Toyota car. And you see the team obviously thrilled with that as well, coming back strong after the summer break, the week break. And we got Ria Harrington here in 12th place, so he gets the point from McLaren, so not the best, but could have been better. Taking a look at the end results, and Hamilton takes the win, 10.5 seconds clear of Mick Schumacher in second, and Robert Kubica takes a brilliant podium in third for a Williams 2-3 and the lead of the German engine suppliers, with we finishing where we started in fourth, Charles Leclerc in P5 ahead of teammate Sebastian Vettel in sixth. Alex Albon finishes down in P7, but did beat both the modes of George Russell and Daniel Kvyat, so at some point Russell must have got the call to get past Daniel Kvyat because his pace was so much better than the Russians. Hulkenberg gets some points back on the board for Renault with 10th, with the McLarens rounding off the points in 11th and 12th. Stroll, for all his defensive work, deserved points honestly, but didn't get any in P13, ahead of our teammate Gio, with Pierre Gasly in P15th, ahead then of Kobayashi, who only got up 2 places into P16. Jean-Luc Vergne finishes down in 17th, though not a good race from the Frenchman, with Colin Herta down in P18, with Verstappen and Nico Kari retiring from the Grand Prix. Moving on to the driver standings, and Mick Schumacher still holds on to his quite convincing championship lead. We've got a race win clear over Lewis Hamilton, 26 points behind. And then Daniel Kvyat dropping quite some way off now, 43 points off the championship lead. with Charles Leclerc in 4th on 100 points exactly. Verstappen could have been right up with there with Charles Leclerc, but stays in P5 on 86 points. And he's been caught now by Russell, who's in 6th on 78, who's 3 points clear then of Robert Kubica. We are in 8th place, now now 5 points behind our former teammate, with Sebastian Vettel getting up now into P9, 1 point clear then of Kamui Kobayashi. The guy who stays in 11th with 38 points, with Lando Norris riding off the top 12 on 21. Alex Albon's up into 13th place with 13 points, 1 point clear of Rio Haryanto in the McLaren, with Matsushita in 15th on 11. Then joint on 6 points are Colin Herta, Lawrence Stroll and Nico Kari. One better result, Herta leads that train, with Giovinazzi on 3, along now with Nico Hülkenberg as well, leaving Verne the only driver yet to rescore points. Finally now moving on to the constructor standings, and Williams still keep their convincing lead of overall 1-2 worth of points clear. They're 40 points clear of Mercedes, and Mercedes is now only 3 points clear of Toyota, with I think Hamilton's points outscored what Mercedes got today. And Ferrari still semi within reaching distance of 2nd place on 159, and they're 23 points now clear of Red Bull. Alfa Romeo looking semi-secure in P6, given we're nearly 30 points clear of McLaren, who are in 7th, with Haas in 8th, Toro Rosso P9 and Renault still at the bottom, but at least with points back on the board. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment down below as well if you enjoyed the race, and subscribe if you're new and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Remember to vote for your driver of the day as well, that'll be in the poll link in the description. Also check out the wiki for this season as well. Also if you want to check out for past seasons, every single team, every single driver to ever competed since this season began in 2014. If you've got this game on PC like I do, you can download the 4 modded liveries that I use, because they'll be linked in the bottom description as well. That'll be the blue Rocket Williams livery, the Mercedes 125-year white nose livery, the BWT livery, which is more of a sticker bomb thing, and then the STV Esports livery on my Alfa Romeo, and the Y Bikes Haas livery that'll be linked down in the description if you want to give them a download and use them for yourself. So yeah, remember to leave a like if you enjoyed and all that. Give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram, that'd be much appreciated as well. Thanks for watching, I'll see you all next time.